Good morning, students of class 8 from LPM Public School. I am your science teacher, DPS sir. This is the second part of the second part video of chapter crop production and management. In the first part, I have explained you what is crop, what is agriculture, what is crop production, and what are those managements which we apply for getting the crops from farm to our house. Just in the previous class, in my previous video, I have already mentioned you those things which is done by the farmers, just like plowing of field to make the soil loosen, leveling it, then sowing of seeds. Before sowing of seed from the market, you go to purchase a good variety of seeds. Okay, in the market, many research seed has been made by the scientists by just taking different good properties, by combining two different breed of the property together and make a hybrid seed. And the quality of that hybrid seed, they takes less time, good yielding, as well as they have the capacity to fight with the diseases which caused by the plants. The disease occurs in plant, they have got the fighting capacity in them. So students, after sowing the seeds, there is a requirement of irrigating the farm, because there is a requirement of water to those seeds. So we give water, provide water to the soil, and the providing water to the soil is called the irrigation. Then after irrigations, we do the manuring, adding fertilizer, because the crop needs various types of minerals for the proper growth. It needs various types of nutrients for the proper growth. So for the proper growth, we apply the fertilizer. Fertilizer contain nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. When we spray it, when we throw those fertilizers in the farm field, it dissolves in the water, and the water takes in under the soil and mix it with the water. When the root of those crops absorbs the water, through that water, those nutrients gets into the plants and they helps the plant in proper growing. Next, after using fertilizers, it comes the times many unnecessary unwanted plants starts growing between these crops. So we should cut out those weeds plant, and the process of throwing or removing the weeds from between the crop plants is called weedicides. After that, when the crop becomes grown up and the seed starts coming on the plant, at that moment many pests arises to just eat those grains. So we farmers have to take special care at that moment to keep the crop safe from those pests. And to keeping the safe of those crop from the pest, we use pesticide. By spraying pesticide on those crop plants, that chemicals keeps away the pest and it didn't let harms those grains. After pesticides is completed, then a time comes when the crop is fully matured and a time has came for harvesting. Harvesting means cutting the crop plant. There are two methods of cutting the crop plants. Nowadays, due to lack of manpower, lack of time, people just cut their crop plant by the help of combine. Combine does two things in a single machine. One is cutting the grain and removing the stalk from the grains. And if we are doing manual cutting, manual harvesting by the help of sickle, then after cutting the crop plant with the help of sickle, then those crops with the stalks is then passed through the process of threshing. Listen carefully. If we are doing by the help of combine, then there is no requirement of thresher machine. And but if we are doing the harvesting with the hand physically by the help of sickle, then there is a requirement of threshing process. If suppose if that the farmers has cut their crops by the help of their manual cutting, that is sickle, so they collect the crops along with the stalk, they put in the thresher machine, where the thresher removes the stalk and the grain. They remove the stalk in the form of what? You can know straw, which in Hindi called the bhusa, ora. So they remove the stalks and remove the grains on the other side. But if the combine is doing the cutting, they cut the grains and remove it. There is no need of thresher machine here. So after thresher machine, when it removes the grain from the stalk, those grains are then passed through the process of winnowing, because there is little bit of chaff is present in that grains. Chaff means bhusi. Little bit of chaff is present in that grain, which we can remove by the process of winnowing. Winnowing is the process in which a person standing, and there is a hand fan. They are moving the hand fan, and by pressure of wind, and one person let the grains fall. Okay, and when the grain falls, the chaff which is present in the grains, by the help of that wind, it is removed away, and the clean grain is collected. Then after, the process that comes is called the storage. Then farmers store the grains in a silos, or this collected, and by packing they send it to a granary. So granary or silos, where these grains has been kept. Before keeping these grains, we should take proper care. Proper care is that the place where we are keeping these grains, there it might be totally dry place. There must not be any moisture area. Then there is no any scope of coming of rat or any type of germs from outside in that grains. Otherwise, our whole wealth and labor, what we have done in creating that crops, will be spoiled. So storage is the last step of our agriculture, where we properly keep these grains till that it could last for long time, and in future we can use those grains. Now students, this was the topic what I have explained you in the previous class in my part 1 video, and this is my part 2. And in this chapter I am going to explain you about the crop improvement, animal husbandry, pisciculture and apiculture. So what is crop improvement? Suppose that when our science was not so much developed, in very previous days, the farmer, what the crops they used to grow was sometimes happened that either that seeds were infected, there is a loss of wealth in that farmers, because they put all their money in purchasing the seeds and do cutting or whatever, irrigating. They spend a lot of money, but when the plant grown up and when the time comes to growing of seeds in the plants, they found that all the seeds are infected. This was the one problem. Other is that sometimes happens that the plants has grown, but seeds, the grains has not so much in those, not so much in those plants. So what the scientist does nowadays, they taken good quality of seeds, and by doing cross breeding, by mixing those two seeds character together, one good character from the one grain seed, other good character from the other grain seed, they took out those genes from these two seeds and mixed up and made a new variety of seed. That is called the cross breeding, and this is called the improved seeds. And if we are purchasing an improved seeds which has been launched in the market, okay, by the name of crossbreed seed, hybrid seed, those hybrid seed has got the nature of giving good yield. Okay. So crop improvement means the scientists, after researching, they have prepared a new variety of seed that is called the crossbreed, which has got a good growing capacity, as well as those seeds have got the strong immunity system to fight with the germs. Now our next topic is animal husbandry. We people not only eat the plant products, but also sometimes we consume the animal product also. Just like few people consume the milk and its milk products, few people eats the flesh of the small animals like goat, chicken, hen, what you can say, fish. So for that, there is a requirement of animal husbandry. What is it? What is animal husbandry? Animal husbandry means taming animals to fulfill the human requirement. Whatsoever the human requirements are there, for there, if the farmers, beside growing crops, if they are also taming such animals which help those to our human beings, such is called the animal husbandry. Means growing animals, taking care of them at the house for the human requirement is called the animal husbandry. Just like under animal husbandry, there are many branches such as dairying. Dairying. What is dairying? Dairying means for growing cows, for taming cows, buffaloes, goat. So in that case, taming animals for the human requirement fulfilled. Just like for milk, we just keep cows, goats, buffaloes in a house, take care of them. Okay, rear them, tame them at our houses. That for the dairy products. Dairy product means such animals which are tamed to get milk, and from that milk various products have been made. Next is that poultry. Few people also eat flesh of that chickens, and they also consume the egg. So for that, poultry means taming such type of birds like cock, from which people eat the meat of that and take the hen they tame for the consuming their eggs. So that is called the poultry. Next is pisciculture. Rearing of fish for eating them. This is called the pisciculture. And apiculture, rearing of honeybee to get honey from them, is called the apiculture. So students, today my topic is about what I have explained just now, crop improvement. For the better improvement, scientists has done many researches, and they had made a crossbreed seed, that is a hybrid seed, for the better yielding huge production. They have done many researches, and those seeds has been launched in the market. We can use those seeds for sowing. Besides these crop productions, there are many creatures which are tamed. Rearing is done for fulfillment of human requirement by the side of crops. That is the growing of fish, keeping cows and buffaloes for dairy products, growing of hen and cocks for the meat and the eggs, rearing of doing pisciculture for growing fish, for eating the fish, and apiculture, in which honeybee are tamed, reared, so that they could produce the honey from them, and we could utilize these honey as a medicinal product. Okay students, so this all in this chapter, and I will give you a few notes and questions related to this chapter, which you will write in your copy and learn it. So hope so students, you have enjoyed this second part of the video of this chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day. Meet you tomorrow in the next class. Okay students.